So this project is about promoting inclusive growth while developing exporting. So it's a collaboration with West Yorkshire Combined Authority. So the region West Yorkshire is worth about 57 billion pounds, and it's greater than 7 EU countries. It's a home to 7 universities and many innovative and creative firms with export potential. So the central government in 2021 refreshed its export strategy and setting the targets of reaching 1 trillion for export by 2030. So West Yorkshire responded with this policy, West Yorkshire International Trade Strategy 2022 to 2026. However, the problem for the region is if you look at the trade data, the region is behind in terms of export performance. So this data, regional UK trade data, is at a greater aggregate level, but we can still see that Yorkshire and Humber together as a region is behind many UK regions, only ahead of North East and Northern Ireland, comparable to Wales. So there's a lot of things we need to do. But on top of that, the recent economic and political events have also caused issues. So between 2016 and 2021, the number of exporters have reduced substantially in terms of both goods and services, and also the export revenue by goods and services also reduced substantially. Additional issue is that trade heavily concentrated in one city, i.e. Leeds. So last year, we were commissioned to assist in setting ambitious but realistic baselines and targets for the West Yorkshire International Trade Strategy. After a lot of research collecting secondary data, we agreed the target should be by 2026, 500 more businesses actively exporting on a regular basis. The value of export will increase by 7 billion to 20 billion. This is ambitious, so how to achieve it? This moves to the second stage of our research project. So between WICA and our team, we co-designed a questionnaire. We send the questionnaire to firms through WICA channels. They have contacts with various chambers of commerce and other intermediaries. So we received 102 response rate. This is disappointing because when we look at FAME and OBIS data, which are two biggest databases for firms in the UK, there are about 198,000 firms registered in the region. Nevertheless, we still have some very interesting findings. There are caveats to the data we collected, but we're going to put it in the report. So what are the summary of key issues we found out? As I had mentioned earlier, based on primary data, we also confirm West Yorkshire region is underperforming relative to most other UK regions. Leeds most successful, but Cardedale and Kirklees least successful for both manufacturing and services. The reasons we identified are the export barriers to be firms do not see the need to export. And then the second one is the lack of managers with international experience. So we also ask the questions related to other major obstacles. So the type of major obstacles vary across the region. A big issue for exporters is employment constraint. Other obstacles, they do not seem to be a major barrier for most firms. However, like I said, most of our firms are not exporters. So if you haven't engaged in export, it's very hard to know what are the major barriers. So in terms of policy implications, one thing is we do need to put interventions in place in order to facilitate more exports. We also ask a question related to the use of digital technologies. And in terms of that area, exporters use digital technology centers on sales and operations. But for non-exporters, surprisingly, they don't seem to see digital technology to be a concern, and a surprising number of exporting firms not in Leeds think digital technologies for export compliance not very important. So we need to engage in another research project in order to understand more of it. in order to collect more information about export facilitation and export promotion, we organized a workshop on the 4th of July. We invited a lot of people, over 40 people registered, and we discussed issues related to macro and micro. So 4 questions were asked. We are still at the stage of analyzing the data. So thank you very much.